Exactly. You know what? I'm Mia Voss, and that's Jeff C., and he's not Mia Voss, just so you know. I had to start it with that for my manly guy over there. So welcome, welcome. It's been feisty in the green room already. I mean, I really think that Google needs to figure out a way for us to record green rooms. Don't you guys think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's do a hangout on air for the green room, and then go into another hangout on air for the show.
Green room. We will promise that we're going to try and recreate all the shenanigans that happened. However, let me introduce myself first. I'm Mia Voss. You're watching the Mia Connect Power Chat. Today we're going to be talking about shiny images and graphics with these four amazing people. So we're going to jump into it. I'm going to introduce them real quick. We're going to take some BatPack comments, and then they're going to tell us what they do. You guys good with that? All good in the hood?
I think we can handle that, maybe.
I'm going to clap for that. Let's see what our BatPack has to say, guys. If you have any comments, let me know. First up, let me see. This man, I just adore. This is Nazim Beltran. Hi, my brother. He's always doing cool shit. Have you guys ever watched him? Like, he's like, I'm in Milan. Now I'm at the coast. Now I'm doing this. It's a Nazim world, isn't it?
I'm
Just
not familiar with the man, but I will check him out.
Oh, wait, you need to check my guy out. Denver Prophit says, wow, he just watched the Manly Pinterest Tip Show episode 4 trailer. Blown away by the CGI. Must learn this. Well, I think you should just hire Jeff, but I'm just saying.
There you go.
And that's what this show's going to be about, right?
Hiring
when you
Jeff.
hire. Yeah, hiring Jeff. Well, yeah, actually, everybody just hang up. Going to be about Jeff. And then we've got some more over the pond. Azlin Bloor, looking forward to this one. Very topical, very helpful. But it's Friday here, and I'm off to do the healthy as always. We'll definitely catch it tomorrow. So a little shout out for her when she watches it tomorrow. And here's Mary. She's here in Denver. She's saying hi to Lynn, who's in Sonoma Valley. Don't you guys love this about Google? It's like a little tin can with a string that has really, really, really good coverage. I'm just saying. We're all saying hi to each other. What else? You guys have anybody else you want to shout out? Any of your favorite peeps out in the audience?
Mark Seydel, as always.
Yeah,
Brother Mark!
Mark's a good guy.
He is a good guy. Have you guys checked out HOAshows.com? They've done a little pimping to the website. It's looking fab.
It's really good.
Very nice. I even have an ad on there.
I do too. Fist bump. Mark Seydel fist bump. Okay. Look at our brother Mike Allton is out in the audience. He's got a sipping cup of Joe and Evernote open. Oh, man. And he's writing a blog post right now. Wouldn't you say so? Oh, here's Sean Mahon again over the pond. Hey, guys. How is everybody? It's Friday. Hoorah. Yes. All right. Anybody else you want to say hey to? And then we're going to talk about you.
Dustin's in the house, too.
Dustin Stout. Poor Dustin. I wonder if he's recovered from... Oh, wait. Would he have Susan? Say that again.
Christopher Vogelmann.
Hey, Christopher. Infotainer is the middle name. Of course, he'll be there. He's probably got that crazy cat of his. Yeah. That Snowshoe cat. But Bob's taking a nap. So, but yeah, Dustin, I hope you've recovered. He was watching the Food and Booze show yesterday that Chef and I have, and there was this etched mirror with a skull behind it, and I literally thought he was going to have to take a Valium. He was just losing his mind. He's a little traumatized. So hey, Dustin. You know, he's not going to be taking notes. He's probably going to be stealing our ideas. Kidding. You know, we love you. He's got cool stuff. And Dustin, thank you for coming on the show last week because he was busting it out for us too. So without further ado, I'm going to talk about my 4 guests. And actually, I'm just going to have you guys introduce. And what I'm going to have them do is talk about what they do and tell you what their favorite thing is to do in their whole toolkit of things they do. Are you like that?
Sure.
Ladies first. Starting with Miss Susan Finch. Hello, darling. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good.
I'm a clap for you. Hold on. And let's also tell the audience why you might be moving a little slowly today.
Oh, well, it wasn't that bad, but even Mark Seydel got to see it this morning. We did a school fundraiser, and one of the options was a karaoke party. Karaoke last night as a group, and we even dragged the kids along, and everybody's kind of rough today.
Excuse me. I love that, and if you could see it, I was pretty fond of the rendition of Little Red Corvette. I'm just saying. Right?
Wow.
Well, between that and the interpretive dance for Let It Go, you know?
Yes. It was a beautiful thing. You said even your kids have the sugar hangover today, too. So, well, thank you for being with us, because I love what you're doing. You and I have been on, what is this, our 3rd hangout this week? So I got my Susan Finch kick. So tell us about Susan Finch Web. Tell us about your business, what you love to do. Oh, I love in your title, Instigator. That's hilarious.
Well, that's my clients actually call me, because all I do is cause trouble for them and make more work for them. I give them huge to-do lists, and it's like, okay, to give me stuff so I can do stuff for them. So it's a constant, crack the whip thing with them.
Yes.
And I'm kind of a client wrangler.
I like it.
You can hold on to the comments, but it's the clients.
What
I really enjoy doing, though, lately, I've been having a blast doing videos, bringing in images and graphics and combining it all with music and voiceover. I do a lot of voiceover work to create videos for clients, short ones, introductory videos, and sometimes just we'll call it the template for their radio shows, their broadcasts, their HOAs, just to be able to give them a nice branded message that's consistent. So I do that, but I love doing graphics and logos and things, and we'll talk about this in a bit. I am a graphic designer. I am not an illustrator. I'm with some illustrators here in the film strip.
Yes.
And we'll learn all about that and our favorite tools and things. So thank you.
Yes, everybody drink. Because what did we say?
Is this like...
okay.
Yeah, Well, this started a couple months ago, and it just has not quit. We're really running into the ground. Ben Fisher loves anytime anybody says tool,
Okay.
It's a drinking game, which we could all be really hopped up by the end of this program, I have a feeling. So one other quick question for you, Susan. What is, do you have a specific niche or industry that you work with? Or are you just kind of open?
No, I'm open. I do a lot of larger B2B companies. I handle them and help them with their whole repurposing content through graphics, video, and writing. So I do organizations, cities, and B2B companies.
Love it, and I think that's such a good distinction. It's very tough. Anybody who's worked with a mastermind group or is coming up with a business strategy, you definitely have to figure out what it is you love to work with, whether that's a niche, an industry, male or female, got to figure it out. So it's always good to ask. I'm going to throw out a few more comments here real quick. Brother Dustin says, great artist steal. I love him. Oh, Lany says she loves you, Susan Finch. She's just amazing. Preach it, sister. Preach it. Okay, next up in our film strip, Ryan J. Rhoades. Hello, darling. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Still kind of waking up, but I'm good.
I'm going to clap for you. And that is one thing I didn't ask is where are you out of? So we'll come back to Susan in a second, but tell us where you're out of, speaking if you're just waking up.
I am in San Jose, California.
Okay, so you're an hour behind. I gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us what you do, and I know you've been working with a ton of people. You and Susan have worked together as well. Tell us what you do and what's your favorite thing to do.
Well, my wife and I run a graphic design / illustration / media production group here in Silicon Valley, and we do pretty much everything from logos to social media graphics to book covers. I also do voiceovers and video trailers and that kind of thing, like several other people here. But for me, I really love doing infographics. I really enjoy. I like the one that you shared on I think it was on the event page.
I did, yes. Go scroll back through that, you guys. I actually posted everybody's work on there because I wanted you to see what you're dealing with and what you're getting into with the show today. So what was that? It was something about kick-ass, right?
Yeah, it was like kick-ass storytelling steps or something like that to bring out your audience's superhero. But it was for a client of mine out here, and she basically gave me all of the text and just some basic ideas, and then I basically created a lot of that from scratch, and just putting shapes and things together. I just really love illustration, and like Susan mentioned, she would consider herself more of a graphic designer. I would consider myself more of a graphic artist or something like that, more focused on the artistic aspect of things than just the very basic like web graphics type graphic designers that are out there. So that'd probably be my favorite thing to do. So.
And you've worked with some pretty cool people. Well, you worked with those 4 girls and did some cool stuff, but then you've also worked with Jack Canfield, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. My wife and I, we finished up a project with them doing social media graphics for them because we were on their Facebook page and noticed that they were essentially just ripping images off of Google that had, inspirational quotes and things like. Because no one does that. But there were inspirational quotes and things like that get shared all over the place, but it didn't have their branding on it. And so we reached out and said, hey, look. Nobody's liking your page to hear from all these random people. They're liking your page to hear from you. So here's some examples of some graphics that we could create for you. And we had already made these in advance, just some nice-looking images that were that would look good on like greeting cards or T-shirts or stuff like that.
Sure.
That we then just mailed to them via certified mail, and they contacted me within a couple of days. Because we've worked with a lot of authors, speakers, coaches, and people like that. So if you go on their page, a lot of the images that have their specific branding, the ones that look good, those are the ones that we did. So
I think that's something that is in common with all of you. Is it is the strategy and the vision that you see for other people, and like that too. They couldn't see the forest for the trees, that they were almost leaving money on the table by not having things that were shared that had their name on it, right?
Absolutely.
That's probably one of the biggest faux pas I bet we all make when we're branding.
It is, but that's why we're here. So
we talked about it in the green room. We weren't going to dog shame anybody. That was my favorite phrase. Like, we don't want anybody to feel like, oh man, I haven't been doing this. This is just a learning thing, and that's why. What do you think Mama's doing? Taking notes. Hey. Because I'm part of the audience. I'm just kind of here to soak it all up. So I appreciate it, Ryan. That is awesome. So thank you. Thanks for being on today.
Thank you for having me. Next
up, I've got Fear the Beard, Jeff C. Hello, my brother. How are you?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm a clap for you. Because you're what? Who are you?
Jeff.
You're Jeff's.
And you're not. And you're not. That's right.
And you're not.
I was trying to go. Thanks for that setup there. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Where are you? What do you do? Tell me what you love to do.
I'm in Longview, Texas. I'm in the man cave right now.
Yes, you are.
And I have a social media company here. Started out doing websites about 12 years ago and moved more. We still do them, but mostly we do social media management and do a lot of video work. And so you asked what my favorite tool was. Was that I love doing video, and so I like, my thing is AfterEffects. And AfterEffects, for those people who don't know what it is a video compositing tool. And so it's really awesome. It's really cool, and I like to play with it a lot. So, but I shoot local commercials and stuff. So, okay.
Oh, I just thought of something so saucy. I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody knows where I am at. It's early morning.
I'm sure that's going to show up in the blooper reel.
I think so. I love it. So AfterEffects is a tool, right? Drink?
Yeah, it's from Adobe. It's one of the one I use Adobe products. Even I use Premiere for video editing and stuff, and they all work seamlessly together. And it's just, I mean, I'm not an illustrator. I'm not a designer per se. I know enough to modify stuff, but starting out like what Aaron does and some of the other people here with a blank screen and just creating stuff, I don't really do that. I usually contract that out. But I know enough to modify stuff. But I can take that stuff and drag it into AfterEffects and to Premiere and use it in its native. It's just a really cool suite of tools to use if you're looking into doing video editing.
So the term AfterEffects is actually perfect for you because it's after it's all coming in, and then you come in and pimp it out and get it shiny and just, again, things that people really don't have. And I have to give you a shout out. Probably one of the coolest things you did, and I know you think it's one of the simplest. I'm going to post the SoundCloud link because I had a bunch of podcasts from social media marketing world, and I needed that. What do you call that, sweetie? The thing that you did
for a little bumper at the beginning, a little intro bumper, yeah.
And we'll play it because it's the simplest thing you've ever heard, and it's basically, can you replay it for us? So it's got a music, and then you go what?
Mia Voss. That's all I just whisper Mia Voss, so that's it. But I have a board that I go through that do voiceovers with. So
it was so fun, and I know for me it was magic because I know it was simple for you to do, but I was like, that's it. So I mean, for all of you guys, that's got to be the best feeling too when you do some work for a client and it's not back and forth. You come up with it and then you send it to them. They go, that's it. Like, is that not the sweet spot for you?
That is amazing.
yes,
yeah,
because it doesn't happen very often.
It's like the Holy Grail.
Yeah. I know. Poor Aaron knows because we've been working on something. I'm like, no, baby, just modify it. Just look, because but you've nailed it. You've nailed it on like my Mia. Look at this lower third, by the way. What kind of shiny is that? That's Aaron Wood shiny. Faux show. But Jeff, we're gonna go back to you, honey. So I'm loving that though. I mean, everybody, you already complimented you on the manly Pinterest tips. Real quick, and we'll go back to this for the other people too. How did you start doing that though? How did you decide like? I want to start doing these After Effects videos. Like what if you're, and Nazim asked if there was a web designer in here, so that's you-ish, but that's not what you love to do. You're loving to do the videos now, right?
I just started doing it. I did video editing first, and that's, taking video and slicing it up and adding transitions and screens and whatever. So I started doing that first, and I use Premiere for that, which is a part of Adobe's platform. But then I moved to After Effects, and there's so many. The internet has opened up stuff for so many people compared to when I started.
Sure.
But there's some great tutorial websites out there on how to use After Effects. One of my favorites is videocopilot.net. There's a guy by the name of Andrew Kramer, and he does some incredible effects. He does stuff, and in fact, he did the closing trailer for the new Star Trek movie. He did the opening Fringe. I mean, you'll recognize his stuff, but he shares everything on how he does it and how he creates it, and it's a great place to learn. And now with Adobe's products, you can get on the Adobe Cloud, where it's you pay for a month, and it's a lot cheaper. Back when I first started, I mean, it was a big investment to getting started with Adobe, and then they would come out with updates, and you'd have to buy those again. And the pain. Well, now it's with the cloud, and it's a monthly fee, and you get all the new stuff, and so it's really kind of opened the door for people who are really interested in doing video graphics is to start with Premiere. If that's too expensive, I would start with something like Apple Motion, which is also a compositing thing, which is still pretty good. But it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's just a lot of fun.
Speaking of price point, tell me what those two products' usual price point is for those two.
Oh, I can't remember. I think it's like $40 a month. Is that about right, you guys, for the cloud? I know you guys probably.
Yeah.
I still don't use it because I'm holding out. But
holding out for what?
I just don't want to. I don't really like the idea of having to be online to use it.
Now you know what our green room looked like, by the way.
Well, my thing is for me it was two. I mean, you get two seats for it, so you can have it on two computers.
Oh, really?
Okay. And so I mean that was why I did it. And plus for video stuff, there's always new codecs coming out and all this stuff, and so having that update for me automatically was awesome.
Sure.
And now we're nerding out, of course. Let's throw this one out here, too. Random fact, Jeff C. is a beekeeper. Hey!
I am. I have the whole geek nerd outfit, the big hazmat.
Oh, yeah.
I got that.
On a quick note, when we were staying with my brothers last month, same thing. They had this. They've got the queen. They've got the little hive. And I'm standing in the guest room, and I see this, like, hazmat suit-looking guy walk by. Like, oh, it's the beekeeper, the smoke flying, the whole thing. It's amazing. Right. So we love your random facts. So, Lany, thank you for that. I appreciate it. And last but not least, let me just first off say bacon, because that's what your pillow says in the background. Bacon. Aaron Wood, welcome to the show, dear.
Thanks for having me.
Hold on. Let me get my clapper out.
Don't applaud, just throw money.
Yes, and again, Christine DeGraff makes fun of me because I won't literally clap. I love to have the clapper. It just doesn't sound as cool. So
you need a slow clap.
I do need a slow clap for sure. So, Brother Man, tell us what you do. Just one scarf. Please throw that in there too. Tell us what you do and what you love to do.
I do everything. I'm an illustrator. I'm a graphic designer. I'm a comic book guy. I'm a little bit of everything, all thrown into one. So I've pretty much done it all. Webcomic artist, you name it, I've probably done it. So I love to do, and that's what I love to do. I love to do a little bit of everything. That way, if a client comes to me with a job or a problem, I can do it. I say I like to put out fires. That's my thing. I put out fires. So if you come to me with a problem, I'm gonna try to solve it and put it out. So.
Did anybody else just think of Ice Ice Baby? If there's a problem, yo, I'll solve it. That's what I just thought of you.
Check out the hook.
While the DJ what?
Revolves it.
Revolves it. Okay, thank you. Hopefully we're not getting in trouble for that one. So, well, I love it. So you, right, got it right. What's your favorite thing to do, though? I know you've been going to a lot of conferences too.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love to do conventions, sell my artwork, make network connections, and it lets me travel all over the United States. Haven't left the United States yet, but someday maybe do a show up in Canada or over in Europe or something like that.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And what? Talk about your knitting, please.
Oh, yes, I knit. That's where the name Just One Scarf comes from. Or I knit in the past, but haven't much in probably the last 4 years. But I do know how to knit. That's like my secret weapon.
Oh wait, I've got a little comment from Maggie. She what? No standing ovation for bacon. It's kind of implied. Oh yeah, there's a standing ovation
there we
for
go.
it too. I'm loving it, and I think I probably told you on one of my shows before. I also knit, and I usually knit a scarf for somebody, but it looks like this. You can tell when Mia's been drinking wine because the scarf will go like this. And then it'll go like this. So, you know, I figured it's probably got a little bit of cachet to it when it's, you know.
Mia, they call those design elements. So, you know.
That's what it is. And I'm going to steal that. I kind of love it. So, listen, I want to just shout out to the crowd again. These guys are here. We're gonna pick their brain. So if you've got a business that you want to say, hey guys, I'm doing this. What do you think is the first step? Especially, don't you guys think for newbies? Like, let's talk about that for a new business. Tell me what you think each of them need to have, and then let's sew in this element too that I'm seeing is that it's not that just one of you. Well, maybe just Aaron, because it sounds like Aaron is like the Renaissance man and does everything. But
I also do everything, and I will Renaissance all day long.
I do too.
You know what? Renaissance to all of you then. So maybe
what's your favorite thing to do? There's a lot of stuff we can do.
No, that's true. Everybody has a lot that they can do. But even Dustin mentions it in the comments here that sometimes it is like one person will do this and one person will do that. So, you know, you kind of loop in with the different consultants. But so tell us though what would be kind of a starting point. You know, you've got lower thirds if you're doing Hangouts. Of course, for YouTube, you have banners. Kind of dive into that just from a design element.
I think from a design element, first it's identifying your whole feel and message that you want to convey, and before you pick up anything to do a logo, farming it out to those online services or whatever else, don't do that. Meet with somebody. Meet with first somebody that can help you with your marketing piece of it, and then one or two designers, interview them, and meet with them to talk about it. Pay them for their time.
Yes, I was about to say we're all for profit.
Let's not be a time suck here. But
look at Aaron, get paid to be awesome.
Oh, what do you think? And then a half hour later, you're just giving it all away, and then they go, I'm going to do that thing for $5 online, and get a whole bunch of logos for $99. And you can do it if that's all you have, but pay us for giving you the guidance to know that that's your best direction. But before you do anything, because you might have needs that are print. Maybe you need banners because you're going to be doing a lot of events and you need big signage behind you. Or you're going to be doing trade show things. I have one client, we had to do bus wrappers and dumpster wrappers.
Dumpster wrapper.
Dumpster
What?
Dumpster wrappers.
It's something you don't hear often.
We logoed everything with their brand, and so we had to make sure it was something that would translate well into that, and for their golf club it had to be stitched beautifully, you know. And so we planned it all out based on those long-term needs. And for most of us here, though, it's the online, you know, we know our little package. There's, you know, a few of us have posts with, I know I do, with all the graphics you need to get started, you know, Google+, YouTube, avatars, icons, podcast channels, you know, all your identification things, and every banner and every venue is a different size. So that once you have your logo, then I would move on to that package.
Yep.
And then go from there for your more expensive needs.
Should we drink for the word package as well as tool? Or
Shout out to Lori and Michael Mason there.
You know,
I love it. What else?
Yeah. I think Susan's got a good point. I mean, the first thing is the logo. And I don't even do logos anymore because they're time-consuming. I ship those out to designers. But you always get the people who go, well, my son's a pretty good drawer.
Go for
You know, and
Oh, Christ on a cracker.
It's
That
just-
that never
You'll pay
fails.
for it later.
I've got Microsoft Word, so I designed my son's birthday invitation.
Oh yeah, with
Comic
the
Sans and
scrolling.
Papyrus.
But that's what some people have to do. That's what they have. But don't come. You know, we're
Right.
trying to give you
I
advice.
know. We're not
Right.
trying to shame any of you. We're
No.
not trying to be pretentious or anything.
The thing is it's like what we talked about in the green room. You know, everything I do, a 6-year-old could do with 18 years of practice.
Oh,
Speaking
Yeah.
of
that's
that,
awesome, Jeff. I love
Mia
it.
asked me for one of my favorite graphics, and it shows you where I've evolved as far as designing my nonprofit for Binky Patrol. Ryan, you've seen it, and I think Jeff has too. It's little people that I've drawn the same way since I was 10 years old. And that's the logo, and I'm stuck with it because I branded it so heavily, and that's our logo. And I've had people say, oh, don't you want to spruce that up? And my kids lose their minds and say, no, that's the brand. You got to stick with it, Mom. And, you know, they've learned too, so be careful what you choose. You might
But-
live with it for a very long time.
Like a
Susan,
tattoo.
we live in the world of gritty reboots and reimagining, so you can always get away with changing something, I think, by
Right.
making it dark and gritty. So,
Yeah, I was
you
gonna
know,
say I don't even know what that means, but it sounds
The kids can have dirty blankets in their hands.
That's right. See, like like Batman did a few years ago with the reboot and everything. You come in, you make it dark and gritty, and it's hard hitting, and
There's like bloodstains on the blanket.
yeah.
Oh dear. Here's a comment Dustin has. If there only one place where we could get all the social media coverage, image dimensions, which is true. You know, I do know, I know that. But you know, what's tough is that again, I'm going to be your equalizer for this show because there's so many different sources out there, so it is kind of tough. But Susan, I do love that you're saying that, you know, it's not free time. So it's a good reminder for everybody of like Jeff said, yeah, a 6-year-old. What did you say? A 6-year-old could do it with 18 years experience. Like
Practice, yeah.
that is kind of perfect too. So let me ask you about this then too. I think what's hard for me as well is how do you balance what is your opinion with what it, you know, with kind of not dog shaming them of like with colors and things like that, of like leading people to realize like this color is the best, that kind of thing. So kind of help us understand too, like you're trying to give them guidance of this is really going to look best, but also respect whatever their original idea was. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, look at Ryan, right there, dude.
I'm raising my hand. I learned.
Yes, I appreciate you, darling.
They brainwashed me good in school. For me, I recently have been using. There's a website called ColorSchemeDesigner.com. Especially when dealing with colors, and you know, a lot of times I'll have clients that'll come to me and they either have a logo or they want to rebrand or something, and from a design perspective, whenever I look at the way the colors work together, there's just a clash. I mean, have you ever had that happen where you're looking at something, you can't quite put your finger on why it doesn't look right? Well, usually it's because the colors don't go very well together. And this website, Color Scheme Designer, I think Adobe has one called Adobe Color, Kuler. It basically shows the color wheel, and you can pick an individual color, and it will show you all the colors that will complement that specific color. So that's one of the ways that I lead my clients into that without making them feel bad or anything. It's like, look, this isn't just a, you know, oh, well, I like this color and this color together. There's like math behind it. There's science behind it and psychology behind it. And so a lot of times when I'm working with a client and I will ask them, I think, what's this guy's? I think it was Nazim.
Nazim.
No, right here.
It's Pranav. Ooh, I had that one up. Yes, thank you. That's perfect.
You know, in terms of what kind of research I do whenever I'm designing a project for a client, a lot of times I'll ask them questions like, you know, if your logo or if your company was a band, what band would it be? Just kind of abstract questions that for me help me get in their head and get their personality and understand what it is that they're trying to communicate, because that's really what this is about. Whenever you're doing design and logos and whatever, you're trying to communicate who you are to the world around you. And if you can't do that, I'm not going to use the word authentic because Mark Seydel would kill me.
And he's in the audience, and he'll throw a stone.
You know, for me, it's about kind of really helping people express themselves in a way that they can look at their stuff showing up online or on their business cards or in their videos, and it makes them feel good about what they're doing. And that's for me, just seeing a client in their face light up whenever you turn in the final product. That makes this all worth it for me.
It really does. I know for myself, when my lower third that Aaron worked on, anything that I've had done, and especially it's because I don't know how to do it. We've said it a lot. I've said it before. I don't know how to tell you what it is, but I can tell you when it looks good, right? So a lot of times you just know what appeals to your eye. Now that is a tough one too, kind of going back what I was saying before. I mean, this is all relative. Is it objective, subjective? Like, what's going to appeal to somebody can just make somebody else's eyeballs hurt, right? I mean, that is a really tough world to be in. Mm-hmm. When you design something and you're like, look at this, and they're like, yeah,
Lynn Abate-Johnson had a great question. She said, "How do you actually bring in what the client likes and wants
Hi,
to
Lynn.
themselves?
Yes.
Or do you refer them to somebody else if you hate their direction or how they're going?" That's a tough one.
It is tough.
Especially if you've spent a lot of time on it, right? I mean, how tough is that to bust out?
It's even before you get there, because sometimes they'll bring you what they have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look what I have. And respectfully, I found the best ways, wow, what I know about your business, that doesn't seem like a match to me. So maybe I'm not understanding what your business is about.
Right.
So then that opens up that conversation without being threatening.
Yes.
And it gets them not feeling stupid, and it allows you to, wow, when you say that, this is what I think about. And these are the colors that come to mind, and tell me some more. And it gets them more engaged and a little more excited and open.
Don't you think, too, and let's give, and speaking of aesthetics, don't think I don't know that my background's wrinkled, by the way, party people. I just moved this week. I had a little bit of trouble. I had to throw it out there, so I'm like, I don't want any dog shaming.
I'm moving soon, and my office is a mess, so it looks like I've got some kind of body on the floor down here in the machine, and I got this wrinkled backdrop and everything. So
what was smart on your part is just put the word bacon behind you, and nobody gives a crap.
Exactly. Pay no attention to the stuff behind the man. And
I didn't even see the other stuff. I just saw it.
Yeah, he's word bacon, and it's all
you
good.
know that everybody just focuses on you during these things, not, you're just so captivating. So.
Yeah, I hope not. I truly hope not.
Talking up to the host.
Exactly. All right. Yeah, and it's working, but yeah, I truly hope not, especially with my janky-ass background going on. Anyway, what else do you guys have on that idea, too? Because it is going to be a distinction of... working with people, and you have to have the right personality. What advice would you give to people, too, of kind of finding somebody that makes it feel comfortable, like, Susan, what you were just saying, like that dialogue that sounds like you said to them was leading that client in the right way, so you're pulling out the best information out of them without it being too much heartburn for you or for them, right?
It's tough. You have to be diplomat, designer, customer service rep, everything rolled into one. I've worked with clients that don't know what they want. They come to me and say, I have no idea, and they walk away with a solution. And then I have people that come to me with no idea, and they leave with nothing because everything I throw at them, they're kind of like, I just don't know what I want. And, that's close, but it's just, you can't satisfy them no matter what, and you have to have a certain amount of patience and a certain amount of tact and a certain amount of diplomacy to know when to walk away from a client sometimes or refer them to somebody else.
Sure.
It's tough. You want to come up with a solution for people, and in the end, maybe you get one client out of 20 that you can't do it. Because you're trying to reach inside their head, and some people fight you on every turn. I've worked. I posted a project I worked on yesterday for a company that makes a product called Aerogel, and the client he's an engineer, so he knows engineering, and he was getting down to nitty-gritty as far as spacing and things like that, and he actually sent me a 6-page PDF with feedback on my initial design. So I had to take that, and then he
immediately... Susan's face, I'm sorry. That's awesome.
10 minutes later, he emailed me back and said, I am so sorry for that. I don't want to look like a jerk. I want this to be your vision. I want you to come up with a solution for me, so I'm open. And so I took some of his advice and his feedback, and I did some, and then he sent me another 4-page PDF back with pretty much the same types of things. So for some clients, you're never going to get ahead, but hopefully in the end you can come to a solution, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to come up with solutions for clients' needs.
Aaron, you brought up about if it's not a match for you, you refer them to somebody else. If they're that bad, ooh, who's on your bad list that you would refer them to?
Oh, I just
I just say go find somebody else, right?
Yeah.
I've actually had people do that when I had more of the consulting type of business. They're like, they let me know, and I'm like, I don't want that. Why would you even refer that person to me if they sound like the biggest pain in the butt? Which across the board, these generally are the kind of people that are probably a pain in the ass at the grocery store and the whole thing. So, it's I think for everybody it is important to not only pick the people that you want to work with, but pick the people you want to have as your clients, and that's across the board, don't you think? Like, life's too short to be working with the crappy people. So speaking of which, let's continue that. Tell us out in the audience and me, like, how we can be better clients when we come and work with you. What can we do to get better prepared?
Pay us on time.
Then there's that.
No,
that's across the board with everybody. Absolutely.
You got to keep an open mind on some things. You are going to have your vision usually. Clients will come to you and say, this is what I want. Can you design something along these guidelines? They'll sketch something on a napkin, or they'll have a color palette or something, but you really, try to have some leeway with your designer, and try to have some kind of idea. You couple those two things together, and the ride's going to be a lot smoother for both parties.
Jeff or Ryan, give me some feedback on that.
Jeff, you've been kind of quiet.
I know, Jeff C. Jeff, if he were Mike Allton, I would say he was writing a blog. He's probably doing a video.
Jeff, I'm tagging you in. Come on, go for it. Take the reins.
Well, yeah, pay on time is very important, but also I just think I actually fired my first client I've ever done before.
Good for you.
Because, they were just, and it's hard for me. I come from a service background, and so it's really, I always want to say yes. I'm a people pleaser. And so trying to, that's why I do so much video stuff, and like for you, I just gave it to you because you can't really argue with free, but it's hard to
well, nothing's cheaper than free unless I actually get paid, right?
That's right, exactly.
No, absolutely.
I guess it's just, like you said, being open. We're trying, we're putting out what we think, and we've been doing this for a while. There's a reason that we're still in business. If somebody's been in business for over 10 years, there's a reason, and you are hiring us for our expertise. And you can give us feedback and stuff, but if I say that will not work, it will not work. Please believe me that it will not work.
Or I don't want to put my name on it if you're going to make it work, right? There's another thing.
I've taken my name off of websites because they went and jacked it up, and I'm just like, I can't. That's my reputation. I can't do that. So anyway, that's, I guess, my 2 cents. But just having good dialogue, and then if you don't like something, if you go to a new designer, don't dog shame us, the other designer. Really. That's
right.
Sometimes you just don't match. Sometimes it's just not a good match.
That's really a good piece of advice, Jeff. You're right. It's just more of a this just didn't work for me, as opposed to, a lot of times people will say that, but maybe they weren't communicating clearly. I bet that's probably a hard thing too, and I've been guilty of it as well. I don't think with either one of you. Maybe you, Aaron. I'm not sure.
It's not you, it's me. It's not me, it's you.
It's not me, it's you. Exactly. Is being timely, because you guys have probably had that too, of you put everything together and then you're waiting for the client to get back to you. So I would think that would be an important thing as well, for them to be prepared to have a time frame and a time zone. Okay, when do you need this? Do you have a show by this certain time? Do you have a deadline? And then maybe you guys probably chart out for them too, like, if you get this to me by this, then I can do this by this. So that would be a good thing, I bet, for everybody to be aware of like, stay on target, right? As they say in Star Wars, stay on target.
Carmen asked a good question. If the client doesn't know what he wants, how are you going to know? It's that's what we're here for. You come to us and you say, like, I don't know what I want. I've got a pet grooming service. Please help me. So, you know, you just take anything from what their business is, maybe a tagline, maybe just something that you see about their business or about the client, and run with it. You know, we're creative people. We're paid to be creative. So that's kind of on us at that point. If the client comes to us and has absolutely no clue what to do, you know, we wouldn't be good designers if we couldn't, you know, come up with pull something out of our hats.
Aaron, do you ever?
You said hat. I like it. That's not what I would have said.
Tiara in your case.
That's right, or Miara. And thank you, Tom Collins, for reminding me it's a Miara.
Miara, there we go.
You guys ask for, like, when somebody says, "Hey, I want a logo. I really don't know what I want." You guys go, "Well, give me 3 or 4 that you like." I mean, is that how you?
Yeah, I do a few sketches for people, and
they do, and so and I like that too. And Lynn and I have worked together. Lynn has a good Lynn Abate, hi girlfriend. She uses a massive intake form during my paid boarding process, the way to digging deep and getting to know the client's needs. You're onto something. You have to release them to somebody else ultimately if it's not working. But I would think that too. It's our responsibility as well as clients of doing our homework as well, because there's a mind reader. There's just we can only be so much of a mind reader. So even if it is like, go take a look around and see what appeals to your eye, right? That's probably one way to start.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I usually do.
You know what? I want to get back to Jeff's thing about firing a client. And
wait, hold on a second. Look what Nazim says. How many of us are familiar with the clients from hell? We need to.
Now, wait, Nazim actually posted another thing real quick that I wanted to address, and he said, walk away from clients that need it yesterday, or something like that. No.
Yeah, your lack of planning does not constitute an emergency for me.
Still, though, I pride myself in getting people's stuff quick. You
are good, yes.
And get them the thing quick, and you know what? It's going to make a big impact if they I got 2 hours for a deadline. I used to work at a print shop, and clients would bring us something in at 3 p.m. and we had to get it out the door by 4:30. That includes layout, pre-press, get it printed on a 4-color press, and get it out there. And we did it. You know, we made things happen, and that's up to the designer to do. So, but it's all in your bag of tricks. If you look at that and say, well, you know what, there's 10 hours of work in this and you want it in 5, you know, then think about it. But if you can do it, do it. Don't turn a client away if they're all panicky. Just
sure, if that's fitting for you. And hey, let me jump in real quick because I got so involved with you, I forgot to do my little bumper because I know I'm going to podcast this mofo, right? So if you're just tuning in or watching, you're listening and watching the Mia Connect Power Chat. I'm Mia Voss. I've got Aaron Wood, boom, Jeff C, boom, Ryan J. Rhoades, boom, boom, Susan Finch, yowza. All right. So let's go back to Jeff's point. And Aaron, I love that. Thank you for that too. Like you don't be afraid to take it on. But what were you going to say?
I love doing those last minute things.
Yeah.
And we were talking about those moments when you just bask in it because they're so thrilled that you're able to do it. It's a fun gift for yourself. At least for me, it's like, I did that for them. They're so happy, and I was the hero.
Yeah.
And
it is fun, and I've been talking to a lot of people about that, not just in your industry, but kind of from that manifestation type of thing of like, man, what's your favorite kind of client to have? And put that in there on your list of that they are just super excited about what you do. Yes. I mean, how much fun is that? Then you're excited. It's just, you know, it's a kumbaya. I don't care. I love it.
Aaron, I'm assuming that you work that into your pricing structure and everything like that. Like if it's a rough job.
No.
Well, sometimes I do. Getting to something like pricing is totally different. You know, it's a different topic. I'm sure Mia will get to that later. But there's one thing I always ask of my clients: what's your budget? I work quickly, so I'd work myself out of a job if I charged an hourly rate. But I usually try to work with a client within their budget, because why turn down a job when you could be getting paid? Yeah, I'm not saying work for nothing, and I'm not saying, you know, work for do an entire logo and brand package for $25 if that's all the client can afford. But you kind of have to take on some jobs sometimes and charge a regular rate, because, you know, I'm just starting out in freelance, so I can't really pick and choose a lot of things. But it'd be nice if my normal book cover rate is, say, $450, and somebody comes to me and says, I need this by the end of the week, and I'm like, would you mind giving me $6 for it? And if they're like, oh, I can't, I'm a little strapped, do it for the $5, you know. But sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm going on vacation. I don't have much time myself, so this is what I can do for you. And
I think it's a good task for everyone to be very clear about what they're worth and then stick to it. I think that helps a lot of, and then you can decide. And the free thing, Jeff, we talked about that. I love choosing kind of, ooh, look at my hair all jacked up. Hold on a second. Wait a second.
Oh, my goodness.
Now let's talk about me and my hair and my necklace, which, by the way, Crystal thinks this looks like popcorn.
I thought the same thing.
I did
Crystal.
too.
You like that? I'm going with some summer, and I'm glad you like that. That'd be a little Christmas thing, though, a little popcorn thing. But anyway, I think it's really important for us to be very clear how much we charge, and I think it's setting a tone just across the board of this is how much it is, and then you can choose yes, I want to do something for this person because I know that they're gonna really appreciate it, and then just become a raving fan, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I kind of love it.
It's part of that relationship building.
Right.
Jeff,
I mean,
Jeff,
I did.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Susan.
I wanted to still get back to that firing the client thing. Some of us
We're on a tear.
Wow.
Look at
Is there
Cheryl.
someone that you're trying to let
it
go
was
of?
because it was a real. For me, that was when I knew I crossed that line from struggling to have to take everything
Yes.
to respecting myself more
Mhm.
and knowing I'm worth more. When I
Mhm.
took a stand and said, no, you're not going to treat me that way. No, I'm not going to be abused. No, I'm not going to be in a ball at night on the sofa all upset. No, I'm not taking that.
Because
And-
guess what that is? That's your valuable time when you're stressed out trying to figure out
Exactly.
and solve in
And
your
it goes
head.
with all
Like
my other
it's
clients too. So it's not nice
Right.
to anybody. But once I made that choice with them, not only did they beg and trying to find anything else that I would be willing to do for them, instead of the one thing I said no, my business exploded, and the quality of my business exploded. So, Yep.
Yeah, when you made that, I mean, and it's so funny. I mean, yes, we're talking about design and things like that, but I think this is such an important conversation that's educational for all sides of what works for the client and what doesn't. Here's another comment, Cheryl. I had it up. Taking a down payment as a must if they aren't willing to. That's a clear warning. So I think it is warning signs for both. One, if your designer isn't getting back to you. Yeah. And here's one from Christopher. Recently had a web designer that created something that's totally off the mark. He wanted something more corporate, and he came back with a black gamer design. What, is that bad? How do you communicate your displeasure without offending the designer? Which then my girl, Kristen Drysdale, says, Christopher, how much are you willing to waste in mulling over feelings? You want a design that works for you, or do you want to make friends on the playground? Like a girlfriend throwing it out.
Wow, jeez.
Like a girlfriend.
Wow,
And she's like
y'all
this
are
big. I
cold.
love it when she gets badass.
She's feisty.
She is a feisty little thing. I love her. But seriously, I mean, how do you, that's tough for everybody. It's tough when you get a bad haircut and you're like,
Tough.
ooh,
It's
I hate
tough.
to tell you, you
Well,
suck.
I can see it from both the designer side and the designer didn't find out what he wanted, first of all,
No, he didn't do. I think that's a lack of due
but also-
diligence or not listening.
right, and also, but that was their, but they probably didn't communicate very well what they wanted to. I mean, that may be something too, but
Oh, you're busted, Christopher.
well, just saying, and then the
No,
other,
it's true. That's.
yeah,
Me
but
and
the
Bob.
other thing is he may just need to cut his losses and go with a new designer, like we talked about before. You may just not be a good fit, so that's just.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing I'm seeing the common theme is communication. That pretty much is across the board, though, right? I mean, especially if if you have to get on, this is why we love Google Hangouts. If you have to get on a Hangout and say, look at this color, or look at this is exactly what I was thinking, then that's the way to do it. Hey, and we haven't even gotten into, God, we're at 48 after the hour. We're a chatty little bunch,
Let's just
aren't
make
we?
this a 2-hour show.
Yeah,
Let's
I want to
do it.
skirt. Not because, no, Sheffy's shows after
Yeah.
this. We can't end.
Bring
end
Chef in too. We'll start drinking and eating, and we'll just.
Speaking of which, Susan
I know,
Finch
I
is
know.
on. You have to go. You have to jump out. Well, let's talk real quick with Susan before you have to go, and then everybody tune in after that. There's a ton of shows today. Let's talk about the distinction between illustrators and graphic design, because I didn't know there was one.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't. So tell us about the difference in that. I know we kind of touched on it before, but what's an illustrator and what's graphic design?
Who wants it? I think you guys can correct me, or everybody has a slightly different interpretation in this
Yeah,
group.
it's like bartenders and Cosmos. They're
Yeah.
all like, no, it's made this.
I think of an illustrator as somebody that knows how to have this vision of a picture. They have the vision first, and then to be able to draw it. Whether they're using a pad and paper or whether they're using very complicated tools online to give them the depth, every piece of it that they want. I do, my stuff is more graphic. I do a lot of type treatment. I do small mark elements. But to me, what Ryan does and what I've seen some of you guys do, that's a whole different ballgame. I couldn't do that. I could not draw that infographic. There's just no way. I couldn't do this great Art Deco poster with a steam engine coming at me. That didn't look like something I grabbed from somewhere else and modified. I do a lot of original graphics. I take a lot of original photos, but I'm not an illustrator. My hat's to you that are, because I've never had that skill.
Good distinction. Okay, what else, guys? Jump in on that. Who's an illustrator?
I mean, I always considered myself just a graphic artist, graphic designer until I started getting more in the business entrepreneur space and getting around other people in my industry, because I work from home, so I don't, I'm in my cave a lot, so so I guess I would consider myself an illustrator in that regard, but
gotcha.
Susan has to.
Yeah. So before Susan does, Susan, what are you bat crap crazy about, honey?
I am bat crap crazy about cleaning up messy sites, spinning them out, getting rid of their old content, and cleaning up their online presence so it's all matchy. I love doing that for people.
You're almost like the wolf in Pulp Fiction. Oh, you're bringing in the wolf?
Yes.
That's your new name.
Nice.
I always got to throw in Pulp Fiction.
Princess Bride, Pulp Fiction, I love them both. But I got to go. Oh, thank you so much, everybody.
Bye, darling. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. All right, let's finish that on illustrators and graphic design real quick. Talk a little bit more about that.
I've done everything from my own self-published comic book to webcomic to so I can illustrate and I can incorporate my illustrations into my designs.
Sure.
So I just, like it's part of that whole package kind of thing.
Well, let me ask you that. With that being said, so you've got, like she was saying, the cool steam engine type of thing. Is that something that you draw out, or that you're doing that and you're pulling in, squares and shapes and, resizing them? You don't have to give me all the secrets, but...
All the secrets. I usually sketch out my designs before I start something or think about it. Even for the logo that I did for you and Chef, I sat down and sketched something out real quick before I started to go with it. Other people just work it right into the computer. They just go. Everybody's got their own process, different process of arriving.
And I have to, again, I'm sorry I didn't get to say this, and Susan's not. I have such kudos to you guys. I have complete respect, because I know I just have zero. It's stick figure time for Mia. Just so you know. I got one drawing I can do, and that's about it. Hey, Delilah says she wants Ryan to show your monkey. I don't even know what that means.
Give me a second.
All right, cool. Jeff, see, let's talk about my brother.
Showing my monkey.
Yeah, you're like.
I'm gonna do it.
I like it that you have one to show. I appreciate that about you. There's even a question that you had it. All right, Ryan, let's see it. What are we showing?
I have to pull it up here. Basically, I think it was couple days ago on Lany's show on Those Four Girls. They were wrapping up the show, and I think it was Cheryl Locke encouraged people
who's out here, by the way. Hey, Cheryl.
Yeah, I think she encouraged people to plant a cactus and hug a chipmunk or something, and then and then Yvonne followed up with plant a monkey, and it just it's kind of just a funny joke.
I love those girls.
So I just drew a picture of a monkey that's in the ground.
I like it.
That's where that came from.
Yeah. So it says, I demand to speak to whoever came up with this ridiculous plant a monkey campaign. So it's kind of an inside joke. And
it works for me. I like his one giant eyeball. It's kind of good, too. I'm digging that. Hey, real quick, Tom is out in the audience again. He's here in Denver. He's never wanted to be the low-cost provider of everything. Hourly rates are for amateurs. That's a quote. And you can't see this, but whenever you get busy in your consulting work, raise your prices 20 to 25%. Generally, it will drive away the same percentage of clients who will tend to be the lowest-paying, high-maintenance group. Ooh, amen. We're on a roll today, aren't we?
I can attest to that.
I know. Get paid to be awesome, like I always say. Jeff, let's talk real quick about what you do, because I know. So what do you consider yourself? Is it just more? It's not
I'm not an illustrator. No, I can open files in Illustrator.
I'm sorry, hey,
but that's about
which
it.
is more than me. But I love that. I mean, but you do create things from scratch, though.
But I mean, I do, and we don't have time to talk about it. But I will use template sites. I don't have any problem with that, especially for clients who are struggling with money. And so I'll help them with that. But like I said on another show, I would create, if I was a company, and I know I need to put my glasses on so we can do this dramatically. We go Canva. Because everyone doesn't want to talk about it. But the thing is that I think that designers could create, if somebody had a small budget, they could hire a designer to create them templates that then they could go modify in Canva.
Correct.
I think because
I love that idea, and I know everybody's calling that kind of the C word, but
right.
yeah, but we had Guy and Peg on last week. We didn't talk as much about it, but it is great now. It is kind of, again, the equalizer, because it at least helps me get a little bit started with the P word, Pick Monkey, or the C word, Canva, and having that. And I would think it'd be a little bit helpful. Again, yeah, I mean, like, I can use that to take the logo that Aaron or Ryan designed for me and use that, because not everybody's going to be available.
Right, and see, I'm been in the business long enough that I know what I can't do, and I know that if I was going to need a poster, I would hire Aaron, or somebody, or a designer. I mean, because I know enough of what I can't do, and then I could take. I mean, I could take those elements and animate them or do whatever I needed to for a client later. But I think, and that's what's so cool about Google Plus, is you meet all these people and you can collaborate with them. I mean,
that's my favorite C word.
Yeah, and so I mean, that's what's so cool about Google Plus, is that I have contact with, Ryan and Aaron, and if I need something, hey, I need a logo for this client, and I know their work, I can use that, and then they'll know me, and they'll make, hey, I got a client who needs a video done, and so, I think gone are the days where, and designers were very, very, tight-knit. I'm not going to share because it was the competition, but now I think it's opened up where, hey, I really specialize in this, or so I think there's some sharing that can go on. That's just me. So
I think the scarcity mindset is going by the wayside. Thank you, Tiny Jesus, for that. Yes. All right, hey, guys, we're almost done. Bat crap crazy time. Who's up? Who's up first? What are you bat crap crazy about? And what's your call to action? Aaron Wood, you're on. Boom.
Yeah, I don't know such things. Oh, what have you done?
You could always go with bacon. But...
Yeah, that's what I was going to go with. No, I don't know. It's I don't know. Call to action. Buy my posters. No. Hire us designers. Hire all the designers on the show today. We'll all collaborate and give you what you need to get, your site, whatever, book notice. So
that could be a combo, bat crap crazy and call to action. I kind of like it. Okay, Jeff C., my brother, bat crap crazy and call to action, please.
I'm bat crap crazy for. I'm enamored with Hangouts. I think they're cool that we can come together and do stuff like this. And my call to action would be to come watch the Manly Show next Thursday at 2 p.m. Central. We're having Chef on, and we're doing a cooking show.
Yay!
And so Stefan Daniel, Mike Allton, Wade Harmon, myself, I'm going to be grilling outside, and so we're going to share recipes, and so hopefully we won't burn anything down. So come see that, because it'll be fun.
That is awesome. So, but eat beforehand, because you'll be hungry. Just saying. You've been warned.
Yeah.
All right, and Ryan, what are you bat crap crazy about, and what do you want us to do, sweetie?
I am bat crap crazy about taking something that my clients and people feel is just mediocre and giving them something remarkable. I love seeing people light up whenever they get something that they know they couldn't do it themselves, but we work together to create something powerful, and that's what I'm bat crap crazy about. My call to action would be visit my website at reformationdesigns.com and pre-order me and Lany Sullivan's upcoming book. It's called Stop Wasting Time and Burning Money, and we talk all about how to do that. So.
Nice segue for me, because next week I'm going to be talking with people who are self-publishing and books. So I think right now I'm actually going to tell Lany Sullivan, you need to be on my show next Friday. How about you now, right? You like that? Because we are going to be talking about that. So thank you for that. Guys, thank you so much. My Bat Crap Crazy actually is for, I'm going to go with those 4 girls. I'm feeling the love today because I'm loving what you guys are doing. I'm loving that they are all collaborative. And Google+. So that's my Bat Crap Crazy today. And guys, that's it. My call to action, go to themiaconnect.com and please subscribe so you can get more updates on all my shows and everything. And that's it. So happy Friday, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay.
Bye.